Hi, Matt, the etrailer, and today we're talking the Glacier Chains roller link chains on our 2017 Honda Civic. And we're going to have this on our front axle as what the manual recommends, and our tire size is going to be 215, 55, R16. Now, this is going to fit a variety of different tire sizes. That's just the one we have today. If you are worried about that fitting your vehicle, you can plug in your vehicle's information into our fit guide to find what's going to be the best fit for you. These chains are going to be a great option for you, especially since we don't have a lot of space underneath our wheel well or near our suspension, because this is a pretty compact car, and it's going to be more ideal for those areas where you get light snow. So it's also going to be great if you live in a state that requires you to have chains and you just need something to have on hand, then this will fit that too. Now, the reason why this is great for if you have low suspension or not a lot of clearance in your vehicle is going to be because of the size of the links. If you notice, they don't sit up very high. They're actually going to be Class S compatible, which gives us plenty of room to sit underneath here. And they're going to be a roller link style. So roller links don't get a whole lot of traction when you're driving. They'll still provide some, but they're going to give you a smoother ride overall because this is going to be able to roll over whatever you're driving. It's also going to be made out of a low carbon steel. So what that really means is it's going to be a softer metal compared to some of the other chains we have. That's not a bad thing because once they do maybe make contact with a few too many rocks or hard surfaces, instead of chipping or breaking, they're just going to more bend against what they're driving over. And that's what's also going to provide you that smoother ride overall. Something that's also going to affect your drive quality is going to be the pattern we have on the chains. This is going to be a ladder pattern, which is going to be giving you better traction when you're stopping or starting. Our chains are going to come in this pretty light duty bag, 2 to a set. Now, this isn't something that's going to last you a super long time. On the plus side though, these are only roller links, so they really shouldn't tear through this too much. What my bigger concern is when putting your chains back in here, since these chains are a little bit springy, so when you roll them up, it can be kind of difficult to put them back in here, especially after when you've gone on a drive, you've picked up a lot of snow, dirt, rocks, whatever is in the chains. Trying to get it back into this bag can be pretty difficult. So what I'd recommend is just investing in a small tote to put your chains in because they're going to be a lot easier to transport. In my opinion, I think this is going to be an okay option for you if you are looking for more of a affordable chain. I think there are definitely some better options out there. One of my picks would be the Titan chains with the rubber tensioner on them. And the way that's going to work is you actually don't have to make any connections on the back side. All your connections are made on the front side, and it comes with an included tensioner. Now, that's definitely something to think about during when you're installing these or taking them back off. If you're curious to see what that installation process looks like, just stay tuned. I'll show you what I'm talking about. To start off the installation, I recommend grabbing some gloves, just to make this easier. And if you are doing this for the first time, I recommend staying home so you can try out how this fits, so you're not trying to figure this out on the side of the road in the middle of a blizzard. But what we are looking for is to make sure there's no damages to our links. Everything's looking pretty good. And to make sure this is in the correct orientation. So we want to make sure these hooks are facing down. And these will also have a label on them. This is tire side. That's when we want to make the connection with our tire. And once that looks pretty good, I'm just going to lift up on them. This is how I am lifting up here. I'm going to flip them over until they sit on top of our tire. It can be kind of a tight fit because we don't have a lot of clearance under here. Just kind of pushing it in place. Until it's sitting pretty even on both sides. It's not a bad idea to come to the bottom and to push these ends. So it's going to be a little bit easier to grab when we make the connections on the front and back. We're going to start by making that connection on the back side first because this is going to be a little bit trickier to do. I'm actually kind of going in here blind because we have very limited clearance underneath our vehicle. But the goal is to grab that channel with one hand, bring it closer to you, and try to stick your other one with your other hand, grabbing the other side with the blocks through that channel. You'll have to feel for it with your fingers a little bit too. But I am going at this kind of blind too, but you can feel those connections being made. You just keep working at it until you're able to get it all the way through. Sometimes it will fall out, just like it did to me, but just keep working with it and you'll eventually get it. The connection on the front side is going to be the same process, only you're going to be able to see a lot better, so it's going to be easier. I'm just going to slide these blocks through that opening. You want to make sure it's getting about the same amount of tension on each side. So as long as it's pretty close on either side, then you should be good. You can try to stick it through this clip at the very end if you got enough hanging out, which I do. And that's just going to allow it to stay put towards your chains instead of just dangling around. Is that a bad idea afterwards too, just to give this a good pull test? Make sure this is still feeling pretty tight. It is feeling pretty good, but I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable with a tire tensioner on it. The way you're going to put a rubber tensioner on is just by making sure that those hooks are facing away from your tire so you don't scratch anything up. And I like to try to put this in more of a star pattern just so we get a good even fit all around. What a rubber tensioner is going to do for you is apply tension as you're driving, so you don't have to worry about anything loosening up and making contact with your suspension. It's also going to provide you more of a tight fit. Give it another good pull test, make sure everything's feeling pretty good, and if it is, you can do that same process on the other side. Afterwards, it's not a bad idea to either pull forward or back up some to make sure you're still getting a good fit. And if you are, then you can take it out for a ride. But that's just a look at the Glacier Tire Chains on our 2017 Honda Civic. Thanks for watching.